WWE fans have fired back on the company after the latest prices have been revealed. WrestleMania meet and greet. Honestly, it is quite absurd, and we're going to break it down in a little bit more detail in just a little bit. Guys, obviously WWE is growing, and we know that. And with WWE growing, they are trying to take advantage of people by making them spend even more and more money at WrestleMania weekend. And I have a lot to say about that. Plus, WWE, ex-former WWE star, he's been outed, allegedly doing some scams. We're going to talk about that. And we do got to talk about an AEW star being sued by the company. Okay, so I want to kick things off with Ryan Nemeth. We talked a little bit about this before on the channel, but now Ryan Nemeth has dropped an article on Substack. And the title of it is Raise Your Hand If a Billionaire Sued You This Weekend. And it is actually a very lengthy post, so I'm not going to read it all entirely for you guys. You guys can look it up and read it yourselves. But basically, Ryan Nemeth has been having an ongoing issue with AEW. And he's no longer with the company. As you guys know, he is doing some stuff with TNA, but also he goes on to list some of the other things that he's doing. So not only is he doing pro wrestling, but he's doing some Broadway stuff. He has a variety of jobs doing stunt doubling, just a lot. And he makes it very clear, like he has bills, he has to work for a living. But now he said that he's involved in an unpleasant legal situation against a real life billionaire. And so he was being asked to do a Broadway show. And just minutes before the show actually started, he was served by a lawsuit from AEW. And this is really insane, honestly, when you look at it. And really, I want you guys to look at this more in detail. But the reason why I'm even talking about it, to be honest, is because I feel like AEW and Ryan Nemeth, their issues are quite interesting. He even goes to say, like, in the article like that he posted, he said that like his issues with AEW, like it wasn't to blindside them, which is interesting because obviously AEW and the company, you know, a lot of people have come out and said that the company kind of struggles a little bit with communication and issues like that. And basically, if you read this entire thing, I mean, that's kind of what you're looking at, is ton of communication issues, miscommunication, maybe not being properly communicated to. Ryan Nemeth is obviously being sued by AEW at this point, and it's a legal situation that we'll have to see how it plays out, and maybe there's a settlement or something like that. But the one thing that is very interesting is Ryan Nemeth says that he spoke to AEW Legal, he spoke to his bosses, he kept records, he has witnesses. He said he was even offered a settlement at one point. And then what was actually really strange was at one point he was even offered a new contract by the company, even though he was pursuing legal action. So he did turn out to reveal that he is not actually joining them. So there was a lot of ways that AEW could have amicably fixed this, and they chose not to, and we'll obviously pay attention to this as time goes on, but you guys should definitely check it out yourself.
Now would be the best time to remind you that we have a major goal to hit 100,000 subscribers. Over 40% of the viewers who watch this channel are not subscribed. Please click subscribe if you enjoy staying educated on everything with wrestling news.
Okay, and that's going to bring us to our next topic, Justin Credible. You know, we don't talk about him much because there's not much about him in the news cycle. But today, Maven Huffman dropped a very interesting video surrounding Justin Credible. There was another video that came out on YouTube that basically outlined a whole bunch of accusations from fans and promoters who came out and basically accused him of just straight up no showing and just being a scam artist. And it's a very interesting video because Maven does a really good job with these kinds of things, but Maven goes on and basically does an interview and confronts him about it. And, you know, he's hearing a little bit of different responses. And then what's really crazy is at the very end of the video, he says that he was told by a source that there is more proof that Justin Credible was actually allegedly doing these scams and no showing and stuff like that. I also know that Grimm's Toy Show has also come out and publicly spoken about this. Obviously, if you guys know GTS Wrestling, Justin Credible was there at one point, and some of these things were brought up in the actual video. And it's just really, really crazy. Like some of the fans, there was fans who alleged that Justin Credible, you know, asked them to send him money, and he was going to send them orders and stuff like that. And then, you know, it was funny because in the video you can kind of hear him address these situations one by one, and then obviously You listen, you're going to get two sides to the story, and Justin is giving out his side, right? But on the other side of the spectrum, you have a lot of people providing proof, and Justin's kind of like, I don't know about that. I don't remember that. He's kind of like inherently denying these things, and it's not a good look. And I think even for Maven putting out that video, it was a very well done video. It was edited very well, and you try to give the benefit of the doubt to Justin Credible, but then at the same time too, what do you do here? How do you defend these kinds of actions? And it's different if there's like a one-time thing. Maybe it's a mistake or something like that, for sure. But over the years, there's been countless allegations about Justin Credible no-showing promoters or, scamming fans. And then obviously, you got to take into account, like, and this is the part that sucks, but this is the reason why a lot of people don't trust pro wrestlers. It's very damaging to the industry, and it's very damaging to people's reputations, and then the promoters and stuff too. So we'll see whatever comes of this. I don't know what to expect, but it is what it is. And that brings us to our final topic, ladies and gentlemen. Nick Khan and WWE, Triple H, they're all under fire today because on social media, there's this huge discourse about basically WWE has the lowest WrestleMania ticket sales since like WrestleMania 22. And then WWE turns out to announce a meet and greet today. And with this meet and greet for WrestleMania weekend, some of the prices are outrageous. Like Jay and Jimmy Uso is $600. Liv Morgan and Braun Breaker was like $400 or $500. WWE is charging astronomical prices. And of course, there's a lot of people having these conversations about WWE and their ticket prices and their greed. And I just want to be very clear here. And I did put out a tweet about this too, so people are aware. WWE could be the most perfect product. It could be the greatest product in the world. Creatively, it could be the perfect, most insane, amazing thing ever, right? But there does need to be a conversation about TKO building up this brand and basically charging themselves in competition. And what I mean by that is WWE WrestleMania weekend, it's not in competition with anybody at all. They are largely unprovoked, I guess, right? Like they're doing their own thing WrestleMania weekend. They're going to make all the business anyways, and they're extremely popular. But now WWE is charging these astronomical prices. And on top of that, I did put it in my tweet, they are spamming WrestleMania weekend with more and more events, and the prices for all of these events are absurd. So now you got people that got to pay for a hotel and travel. Then they're going to want to go to Raw, Netflix, and NXT, Raw on Netflix, SmackDown, NXT, Hall of Fame, the roast of WrestleMania, WrestleMania Night 1, WrestleMania Night 2. It's an absurd amount of money that people have to spend to go and experience WrestleMania. And like I said, if WWE was the most perfect product in the world, I think this is stupid. I think this is damaging to their brand because at the end of the day, what's going to happen is you are going to turn people away when you try to charge this amount of money for entertainment. And even if WWE was the most perfect company in the world and it was the greatest thing in the world, and let's say I was a billionaire, I still wouldn't want to spend that money on things like that because I just think the value isn't really there. And I know people will argue, well, what is the value of entertainment? But the reality is the value of entertainment is subjective. But meet and greets and stuff like that, man, you can go to WrestleCon and it's a far more cheaper experience, and you'll even see bigger names. So definitely controversial. And to be honest, I am against WWE on this. I understand that you're popular. I understand that you're making great money and you're doing great things. But at the same time, too, I do think it is uncalled for to take advantage of people like that. And by the way, the economy, at least in the United States, isn't that great. I know Canada is struggling economically as well. People got real lives. They got bills. And I do think WWE should try to be a little bit more understanding of that. But this is where corporate greed continues to grow.